Lately, I feel like my life has been a big balancing act, and it has been so long since I was able to sit down and record a video for YouTube. But I have been capturing little moments here and there, capturing my process for some things, but I just haven't had a chance to sit down and turn on the microphone and talk to you guys. So today is that day. Once I made my last video in April, I just became so busy with so many things that it's just been a whirlwind. I love the spring, and I know I say that about every season, but I really mean it because my birthday is in April, and I always get very reflective around my birthday because it's another year gone. This year I turned 35, and I'm happy to say that I feel really good for being a 35-year-old. Honestly, I feel younger at 35 than I did in my early 30s. And I went on such a huge journey with my mental and my physical health. So after I had my second child, I was severely depressed, and I also was in a very low point physically. Those two things are definitely intertwined, and I made a commitment to myself to get better. I got myself into the gym, I got my nutrition on point, and I also saw a doctor for my psoriasis and went on a medication that has truly helped my autoimmune disease. So doing all of those things has helped me immensely to feel better than I did in my early 30s. I feel like I've aged backwards, and I'm very proud of the systems that I've built. It was not easy to create these systems for myself and to change my habits, but now that I have them, I feel very proud of myself, and I do feel like this is simply what I do, and it's much easier to be consistent with them. So I love my gym routine. It is shocking to me to think about the kind of person that I was just a few years ago and the kind of person that I am now. I definitely never want to go back to the habits that I was partaking in before. This is absolutely what I need to maintain my sanity, to thrive, and I'm so proud of myself. One of my goals in the gym is to do unassisted pull-ups, and back in the spring, I switched to doing banded pull-ups. I am so proud to say that I can do actual pull-ups now without a band, and it's just so fun that I started recording myself in the gym, even though I was self-conscious. My friend encouraged me to do so, and now I have these progress reports almost to look back on and think, wow, I was doing banded pull-ups and now I can do real pull-ups. That is so cool. So I am glad that I am reflecting and taking the time to edit these videos of the past. So that is what was going on in the spring. I can't wait to show you my real pull-ups in a future video, but it's just nice to set these challenges for myself that has nothing to do with work and just hit them. I'm so glad to enjoy all these hobbies with my kids. Like, as a family, we spend so much time just partaking in our hobbies, whether it's journaling, art, reading, boxing, exercising, going out to the playground, cycling, fishing. There's just so many things that we can do because our kids are at such an amazing age right now. They're 6 and 4, and it's just a really good time. I think that also contributed to my mental health and kind of finding my spark after the early stages of motherhood, which are really, really hard. So yeah, things are looking up for us. I'm very, very happy. And as far as work goes, we have been so busy with wholesale, but we also have had a lot of cool projects like this commission that I'm about to show you. So let's get into my painting process. This was a collaboration that I did with Natasha from Journal Blend, and it was very spring coated. So a lot of this footage is from back in April and May. And there's lots of soft pastel colors, cheerful illustrations, and the theme of this was a Dutch meets spring meets stationery. Collaborations are interesting because you're trying to make something that feels like your work, but it has to feel like the other person's world too. So you're borrowing someone else's perspective for a little while, and I think this was a really cool and interesting collaboration. The tulips that I'm painting here are actually inspired by photographs of Natasha's garden. So she grew these real flowers, and they had gorgeous streaks of different colors. The variegations in the petals were so interesting, and I did think that I wanted to paint them exactly as they are. But then I realized that because they would become stickers, which are very small, I feel like the details would get very lost or be confusing. So I took the artistic liberty to just take the colors and make it into an ombre or a gradient. So I gave myself permission to simplify them, and I think that is what I was talking about with kind of merging our perspectives. There's a lot of different decisions that go into something, and I think that's why it's cool that I can talk a little bit more in depth about these processes. And I think this is so true for everything that we do, is there are a million different micro decisions that occur on our day-to-day basis, but we don't really see that until we go in depth with these deeper dives into these YouTube videos that I can talk more about this stuff. This project definitely took a little longer than my other collaboration that I did with a wholesale partner. That one was more collage core, so sometimes my artistic process involves collaging different elements together, whether it's licensed imagery, vintage imagery, or my own illustrations. So this one was much more illustration heavy because of the topics that Natasha wanted to incorporate into the sheet. It was almost entirely hand drawn, and I also did some work in Procreate, which I will show soon. I think that's something I've been realizing a lot lately. So even though my collage process is quicker, it's still very time consuming, and a lot of the work I genuinely love doing is just really slow. And I think good stuff takes a long time. Like everything that I do, if I spend more time with it, it's going to be better. So like making YouTube videos, it's a slow process, but it's deeper and I think more rewarding than when I make short form videos. Building a business took a really long time. Getting to a certain point in the gym took a long time. Like I have people ask me how long did it take, and they want me to say like 6 to 8 weeks or like a couple months, but honestly I've been in the gym for years. Healing your mental health takes such a long time. Like it took me longer than a decade to get to a point where I no longer feel depressed. I'm 35 now and I am so happy with who I am as a person, but it took me 35 years to get to this point. A lot of these things that I have learned this year, I realized it just takes time to marinate. Everything just takes a long time. And I think the long way is often the shortcut. We live in a fast-paced world, and a lot of times we just want to find like a quick solution to everything. We want to optimize everything. We want to find shortcuts and be more productive. We want to work smarter. We want to post more stuff. It's very, very overstimulating and overwhelming. But for me, I feel like it's hard to decipher what kind of process deserves that speed, because sometimes speed is necessary, but other times I just want to slow down, and I think that's good. I love this saying that I came across recently where slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And I really didn't understand what that meant until now, and I think it's because I'm in my 30s. It's having enough patience to keep doing something before the results show up. I have tried to juggle so many things between running my small business, designing new products, filming YouTube videos, and letting them go months without editing them, trying to stay consistent in the gym, raising my kids, and just all this stuff in general. It's just so much stuff that I've got to balance that I can barely catch my breath and celebrate what has been going on before I have to move on to the next thing. So now that things are finally at a point where I can look back at my footage that I've captured, I think I would love to spend the next couple of videos updating on what has happened this past 2026. I even have footage from fall of 2025, and it's really cozy and nice. And I think I'm just going to spend some time reflecting, and a lot of times I do have to live in the present or the immediate future, and I want to look back a little bit. I started editing this video thinking it was just going to be about my painting process, but somehow it just made me realize how many little moments happen that I never really get to share with you on YouTube because I was so busy. And I did share a lot of these little things on social media because it's just easier to pop them up in a short form or just a photograph, but sometimes these long form videos just take so much out of me. I think part of the challenge for me when I make these update videos is kind of trying to summarize all of the things that have happened, because there's just so much that goes on in my life, and I can edit and choose what to show, what not to show. And I feel like some of the biggest parts of my life, we decide to not really share that, to keep it private. And then other parts we want to emphasize. So I'm still trying to figure out how to tell my story, how to document this season of my life through video and through talking. But I'm slowly starting to figure out what I want it to be. So as we go through these next couple videos, I'm going to kind of like, it's going to be a little random. It's going to be a little bit whatever this is, but we'll figure it out together. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this spring recap, and let me know what you were up to this spring. Catch me up. What was spring and summer like? My next installment is going to be summer, and then after that, we're going to dive right into fall, which is the best season of all. And until the next video, happy journaling, happy planning. I'll see you next time. Bye.